Hi, Victory Nation. Welcome to Inside My Victory, podcasts about the church, leadership, and creativity. I'm Pastor Gene.
And I'm Pastor Kelly, and you can follow the podcast today with the notes we provide for you by going to my website, kellystickle.com.
And if you have questions that you'd like us to answer, subject matters you'd like us to discuss, please email us at leadership@myvictory.ca.
Yeah, please do take advantage of that opportunity. If you have a question that's specific to your need as a church pastor or a leader, email us that question at leadership@myvictory.ca. We would love to take it on.
Yes, we would. How are you, Pastor Kelly?
I am doing great.
Awesome. Number 3 for this month. Are you ready?
I am ready.
This is so exciting. Today, we're going to dig into areas of team collaboration that the local church usually kind of sweeps under the rug. And this includes 3 areas. Number 1, unclear job descriptions. Number 2, territorial communication. And number 3, top-down consensus. All 3 of these threaten team collaboration.
Yes, they do.
Let's start with how the clarity of roles fosters healthy collaboration among team players.
Yeah, I think the clarity of roles is vital to team collaboration. I think if everyone knows what their role is, what their job is, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, they can more confidently go to work to do their role, their job, and do that. I think it's also important that everyone on the team knows what each other's roles are, what each other's strengths are.
That is such a key. That's so important.
It is. If I don't know what your role is or what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are,
right,
then it's easier for me to kind of drift into your lane. And when this is when problems happen. This is when hurt happens. This is when stress happens. This is when fights happen. Is when we're unclear. So as a leader, my job is to make sure that I'm not just clear to myself who's doing what, but that the team is clear as to who's doing what, and not just in the role that they're doing, not just in the job description, not just in the org chart, but also I think it's important to have everyone on the team know each other's strengths and weaknesses, because they can know when to pull on somebody's strengths and to invite them in to collaborate with them because that's a strength, or to know when they're in an area of weakness and understand and going, I don't have to be frustrated. I know that's just not their strength. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
So good. Leaders in the last century kind of adhered to I tell you what to do, leadership posture. Why doesn't that work in this century?
Yeah.
And why must leaders take steps to be sure everyone on the team is in agreement with their roles and their responsibilities?
Yeah, people don't want to be told what to do anymore. They want to be led. And so they will take ownership, I think, if they are part of that solution. So, going back to the first podcast we did in this series, we talked about the necessity to come up with a consensus solution. And the purpose for coming up with a consensus solution among the team and getting all of the team's involvement, not just the boss telling everybody what the solution is and what to do and how to go and do it, but inviting everybody else to be a part of that. When I invite my team to be a part of the solution or to come up with a solution, they're going to take ownership of that, and that's going to be a lot better. And they're even going to take ownership of who should do what and whose roles and responsibilities should do what based on if we know each other's strengths, weaknesses. We'll know, man, I'm going to lean on Gene for this one because he's really good at that. And he's going to participate in that, and the team takes ownership of that as well. So I think as a leader, we need to fire our inner boss. that tendency to we know what's best, and we're going to tell everybody else what to do. You can do that, and it will motivate them for a little while. But as a leader, the best way to motivate them over the long haul is to fire that inner boss and invite them. And it takes a little bit longer. To work on a consensus solution, but it's vital over the long haul to be able to do that.
It's really good,
and to work with the roles and responsibilities of who's in there based on what we agree upon together.
Another thing is that sharing information is vital. And a lot of times in larger organizations, whether that is in an organization outside the church or inside the church, there's this kind of silo mentality, it's like that we kind of hoard information just because we can hold on to our importance. But open communication is key, and how can team players work to guarantee collaboration is not stifled by closed communication?
Yeah, I think we can break down team communication into 3 categories. I know that breaking it down into these 3 categories, and it sounds ridiculously simple, but it really helped me as a leader when I was able to identify these 3 categories when it came to communication, and allowed me to open up communication a whole lot more. There's basically 3 forms of communication that foster collaboration on a team. The first one is instant collaboration. So instant collaboration is a face-to-face meeting or a Skype meeting or instant messaging, Slack, whatever. We use different methods to be able to do that, but it's instant communication. So if I need to have a team meeting, do I need instant communication? Then I'll have a team meeting, then I'll have a Skype meeting, then I'll do a direct message. The second category is document collaboration. So this is when we use as a team, we use Google Docs, and Google Docs is where we share different files. So for instance, I will upload my message notes on a Monday for all of our campus pastors that they have it. This is collaboration now. This is not instant collaboration, but this is a document collaboration where I can upload that, and they have those notes at the beginning of the week, and they can review them so that if something technical goes wrong the following Sunday, they have had a week to soak it in, get it into not just their heads, but into their hearts so that they can jump up and deliver it if they need to. That's shared, sharing
that's
documents.
Empowering them. You're really empowering them. Right.
And so we share a bunch of different documents and different things with different teams, and that's static. That's not instant, that's static. Then the third category is structured collaboration, which is this is stuff that we have policies for. It's structured. This is collaboration, saying, okay, here's the boundaries. Here's the if I need to spend or to buy an item that I'm not sure I need to do it. If I can't have that face-to-face meeting, what do I do? Well, there's a structured collaboration of saying, okay, here's what our policy manual says what to do. Here's the form that you need to fill out. That's a structured collaboration. If I need to request a vacation, do I walk down to somebody's office and just say, I need a vacation in such and such a date? That would be instant collaboration. But sometimes, and as the organization grows bigger and we have multiple campuses, we need structured collaboration saying, I need a form, I need a way to get the request that I need through and to be able to collaborate and know what that is. So those three forms, I think all healthy teams have all 3 of these types: instant collaboration, face-to-face, document collaboration, like Google Docs, structured collaboration, like policies and forms.
Sometimes, Pastor Kelly, I think that the communication as to what the goals are is one thing, but sometimes I think that what gets fuzzy would be the deadlines for meeting those goals.
Right.
And sometimes I think that we are not in consensus on the deadlines, and that throws everything out of whack. And working together to come to an agreement about that is really, really important. So how can a busy leader, and most leaders are all busy, how do we maintain a consensus of goal and deadline clarity?
I think the key to that is to never finish a meeting of any kind without a clear next steps.
Yes.
Part, who does what by when. Just have that at the bottom of your agenda, or hopefully you have an agenda.
And be sure everybody gets it.
Everybody gets it. Who does what by when. There's 3 things we're looking for. Who's going to do this on the team? What are they going to do? And then by when. And I think a lot of times is we'll throw out an idea, but we don't ask who does what by when. And if we don't do that, then it's difficult, and people will assume, and they will assume that you're going to do it. And I thought you were going to do it. And how come that didn't happen?
That's never happened between us. Come on.
If we assign it, we sign who's going to do it, but we don't give them a deadline. They will do it when they get to it. And maybe our expectation was we're going to get that done this week, and their expectation was no, we're going to get it done in a month. So we just need to have clarity, I think, in every meeting, every time, and any task that we ask. Just answer the question: who does what by when.
That's important. So vital. But we all know that vision leaks. So we've said that. But divided visions between departments sometimes in a church. Sometimes the vision of one department differs from another, et cetera. And sometimes a church with a diversity of ministries, all team players are responsible to maintain agreement on the big picture. Yeah. And sometimes that's what leaks. And how can a leader hold teams collaboratively responsible for their methods of consensus.
That's really good. I think the way that we can do this as leaders, we need to be crystal clear and have a lot of clarity on our expectations. I think a lot of times as leaders, I know for me, a lot of times as a leader, I have clear expectations, but they stay in my head. I don't share them with everybody else.
No one wants to go there. Come on.
Right. And you don't realize sometimes that you even have these expectations until you're frustrated with somebody or something.
And do you ever think that, did I think it or did I say it?
Right. And then, yeah, absolutely. And then you're going, well, why am I frustrated? Well, I'm frustrated because I have an unmet expectation. And then the next thing is, did I communicate that expectation? And 9 times out of 10, to be honest, as a leader, I didn't. So then it's hard to go and reprimand somebody on something that they've done that I expected them to do, but I never told them that I expected them to do it. It's just unrealistic.
And you get all fired up to go tell them that, and then realize you didn't tell them that. So yeah.
So you have to, as a leader, you have to go back and saying, hey, you know what? I wasn't clear on this one, but this is what I'm expecting, and I need this to be done by da-da, and I'd like this to happen, whatever it might be. Begin to communicate your expectations. And then here's one thing that I've learned, and I learned this very clearly in Jack Welch's book, Winning. He talked about differentiation.
Right.
And this is what he said in differentiation. It seems really harsh because differentiation is reward your top 20, challenge your middle 70, penalize your bottom 10, which is accountability. And accountability is reward what's winning, challenge what is mediocre, and then penalize what is losing. And he says, basically he said he fired 10%. And when you read that, you're going, that is so harsh. How could he ever do that? But he had a consensus of that accountability among his team. It wasn't cruel at all. In fact, it was very merciful in many ways. But it didn't work. It didn't work unless he had clear expectations. And he says, don't implement differentiation or don't implement this kind of accountability without having clear expectations. Because if you have clear expectations, then when you challenge somebody, they already know what they've fallen short.
And you're penalizing them by holding on to them when this is not the right job for them.
Absolutely.
You're retarding their future, basically.
Yeah. So my challenge to all leaders, be clear with your expectations, not just in your own head, get them out.
All right, let's end on a happy note.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
What is your greatest joy as a leader of leaders?
Oh, man. I love it when leaders get it. I love watching people's light bulbs go on and leaders getting it. And I love watching others win. I think that's probably my greatest joy is as a leader is I love watching somebody else win and somebody that you've helped in a big way, small way, or whatever it might be. When they get it, when they win, when they start seeing the fruits of the hard work and they dig into it and go and do it, man, I absolutely love that. I also love watching teams work together. It's kind of, as a leader, you feel like a parent sometimes where I love watching my kids play together and get along with one another.
Yes.
And the same way I love watching my team collaborate, work together, enjoy one another, and get a team win is very rewarding.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I think as a church, as a pastor, man, we need those team wins. We need those. We need individual wins. We need churches to win. I love watching churches win and grow. I love hearing reports of salvation. I just got a report last week of a church that I've met with the pastor 2-3 times and encouraged him and helped him get into a building, all the rest of it. And he just reported that in the last 2 months, he's seen 48 salvations in his church. And his church is only 80 people. And I'm like, man, that is
crazy.
That's awesome. And
what momentum that gives him.
I'd love to see that happen. We need to see more of that because the church is the hope of the world.
And to share more of that. That's really powerful.
And we have a mission.
We do. What is it?
To reach every available person.
I knew that. At every available time.
By every available means.
With the gospel of Jesus Christ.
By creating churches
That unchurched people love to attend.